Hi, and welcome to a little presentation on how to look at the different types of key terms that we find in the AP seminar rubric. The first term we're going to start with is author's purpose. This should not be a new topic for any of us. Common purposes include inform, entertain, persuade, and there are a few more, but those are kind of the main ones. The most important thing to ask yourself is, why did the author write this? And then try and find the POV. To try and find the POV, you can use similar techniques as to what we do in WAP, such as what the tone of the article is, what the purpose is, and who the audience is, and who the author is in his position or her. The amount of opinions versus facts is very important, because it'll give kind of clues as to what the author's argument and statement on the issue is. On this side, we have another example of how to predict the purpose of an article using the title. The title is Brain Responses to Movie Trailers Predict Individual Preferences for Movies and Their Population-Wide Commercial Success. We can break this down using some of the language in the title, such as brain responses. We know it's kind of a scientific approach. Movies is clearly part of the entertainment industry, and commercial success would be business. So I went ahead and predicted that this article was going to be about using science to prove a theory for the commercial success of movies in the entertainment business, kind of using all the elements of that. And I did read the article. That was correct, but that's just an example as to how to use the title before going into the article so you're already prepped to know what it's going to be about. As you actually start to analyze some of the articles, it's important to ask yourself how the author is trying to make you feel and how you are responding to the article. You need to look for any specific language used that might change the way information is delivered. Is it clearly more biased towards a certain side on this issue? There will always be a bias, but trying to figure out which part of the argument, if there is one, the author is on is essential. Right alongside author's purpose is the author's argument. Very similar, except if the author is only writing to possibly entertain you or to persuade you, the argument might not be as prevalent. So the important things to ask is what the author is trying to prove, what are the claims, and what evidence is used to prove these, especially if that evidence is relevant and if it's credible. The main idea of an article should not be something that's hard to find. The only important thing to remember is that the title should give it away, just like the purpose. It should be a good clue as to what the article is going to be about. And you can try and look for the main idea of each paragraph and then bring them all back together and find the umbrella idea, which would be the main idea. As I said earlier, a good way to try and find the main idea if it is not clear is to break it down paragraph by paragraph and then try and find overall umbrella ideas. So over in this article, you'll see that the first one is mostly about the concerns about water qualities and how they've been increasing over the years, while the second paragraph is mostly about the types of waste that get into the groundwater. And the third one starts going to like city pollution and stuff. And so the overlying umbrella idea is kind of what we saw in the title of the article earlier, and that is water pollution. We've been writing theses for this entire year, whether it was for WAP, for English, or for this class. So we know how they look in the style we write them, which is normally the issue and then like 3 parts to break it up to, if not more, or if not a main idea that has parts to be broken up into. So the thesis will contain or covers the focus of the essay, essentially should state what is going to be said. The main idea will definitely be relevant. And the umbrella for the topics of this essay, similar to the main idea, the thesis is going to be able to encapsulate all parts of the essay. It's important to decide when an author is presenting an argument or an idea if the evidence they provide to prove that idea is credible or not. And the most important thing to look at is the author, the date, the domain, the sources, and the writing style. Starting with the author. Who is the author? What is their background? Are they credible enough? Do they have experience in this field, knowledge? Are they certified to be telling you this? The date, is it a more recent development or is it kind of outdated information? The domain, if it's something coming from a blog, you might want to be a little more wary whether it's a scientific journal, that's something that's a little more trustworthy. The sources, if the article pulled things from other sources, you want to make sure that those are credible as well. And then the writing style, it kind of goes back to what the tone is and analyzing how the article is written. If it's written well, the grammar needs to be correct clearly, otherwise there will be some red flags that pop up.